This playthrough is rated E for everyone. The season is upon us, and it's time to play the often forgotten Castlevania Legends. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with a new game, and well, like I said, it's Castlevania Legends, the often forgotten game, because Koji Igarashi, when he took over the Castlevania kind of like line, when Konami gave it to him to kind of like form it to a cogent, coherent timeline and everything, they cut this game out. And I think the Legacy and Adventure game, basically all the Game Boy games, before the Game Boy Advance stuff, they cut all those out of the timeline and to make it more solid. But unfortunately, by doing that, they cut out the only main female protagonist, only female Belmont that joined, Sonia Belmont. So sad to see that go. But you know, I know what they were trying to do, but it's kind of sad they couldn't work this in. I think originally the timeline she was supposed to be like one of the first Belmonts to gain power. I think it's like the first start of this series. But anyway, Castlevania Legends, trademark, was created in 1997 by Konami, developed by K-Sen, and licensed by Nintendo. And there's a little story in the booklet I can read out for you really quick before we get started, just to give you an idea of what the game's going to be story-wise. And obviously there's a little thing when you start, but this is in the instruction manual for the game. So let's go and read that, because that's not going to be in this. So it was the Middle Ages in Transylvania. One man came into possession of an evil power, and the Prince of Darkness was born. Before long, this being had used his newfound supernatural powers and the magical powers of his followers to spread his plague of darkness and despair throughout the European continent. He was Count Dracula. Even to mention the name of this Prince of Darkness was to cast fear into the hearts of the people in the land, who were powerless to do anything save voice their concern. However, at the same time, a baby girl possessing special powers was born to a family living in a remote area of the country. Your powers are meant for a higher purpose, and not only for yourself, she was often reminded of as she was growing up. The plot of this girl's fate begins to develop one night in her 17th year when she met up with the young, enigmatic Alucard, who was on a journey to search for the father that had deserted him. The young girl's name was Sonia Belmont, and she was the first of the vampire hunters in the Belmont family to become legendary. So let's see what happens if she to become legendary as we start a new game. You can get a password every time you quit the game and you don't continue. You get a password. And back in the day of the Game Boy Color, or in this case, is the Game Boy Color version of the game. You know, batteries and all that. Like batteries, the Game Boy sucked up batteries like no one's business. So, but anyway, there's two modes of the game. Standard mode is you just start out with the basic leather whip and you go on. Light mode, it gives you an upgrade to your whip. So your whip is automatically upgraded to the chain whip. Every time you die or start a level or whatever. So I'm going to do standard mode because I don't find this game super difficult. There are a few moments, but overall I don't find it that hard. Anyway, let's start up Sonia's journey. This is the tale of a young girl's struggle to single-handedly provide Transylvania a place ruled by madness and despair with the light of hope. I like Sonia's design. You know, the kind of the braids. You can obviously they couldn't do blonde in here, but yeah, you can tell she's got the braid, and you could tell she's female because of her. I don't know if you can look at her boots. They're heels. There is something comical about this. Oh, and I love the 8-bit remix of this version of Bloody Tears. Yeah, if you listen to music, it's probably one of my favorite of the soundtracks of the game. So we got ourselves some fireballs or spirits. I think they're technically spirits. I think. But anyway, we got bats here. They're really annoying, but nothing we can't handle. Yeah, okay. I said the game was easy. It's still easy. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get hit in the first area of the game. Now, there's two things there I can show really quick. The L is your life bar, and the B section there is your soul power. I think it's technically your soul power. I'll have to look it up again just to verify. And then you've got the clock there on the bottom, which always counts down. And you're probably thinking, well, that's plenty of time to beat this level. You'd be surprised how if you dally for too long, you might run out of time. And you've got your hearts there, which is used to activate your sub-weapons, in this case soul weapons. And the P there is how many players I've got, like 2 lives. On the soul power, or the brave mode or whatever, like I said, there's a ghost there, easy to kill. It respawns every time you die, and the great thing about it is you press A and B button, and you'll automatically go into invincibility mode, which means you go faster, you're stronger, faster, longer, you know. So, whoops. Yeah, find these worms here. They should be easy to kill, but, you know. Alright, let's jump on this rope. Now make sure to press the up button when you do that, because if you don't, you'll just straight up fall. Oh yeah, and sometimes candles will have either hearts or meat, depending. There is a different type of candle. I'll talk about that whenever we run into it. There's zombies there. Nothing too difficult. Yeah, it doesn't take very long to get the fireball whip. Oh yeah, there's 3 versions of the whip. There's the leather whip, which is your basic whip. There's the chain whip, which is without that fireball thing, and then the final upgrade is your fireball whip, which the fireball itself is about as strong as the leather whip part of it. So you still want to maybe hit people with the chain part, depending on the enemy. Most enemies do take only like 1 hit to do. Oh, well. Showing off what happens when you accidentally forget to press up while during the screen, so whoops. Yeah, unfortunately that happens to me sometimes, because if you press up in this game, it stops you from moving, so it can cause you to just die, so whoops. Oh well, that's probably one of the few issues I have with the game, is pressing up like stops me. Oh, it seems to stop me, I don't know, maybe I'm just not pressing far long enough, but oh well. Anyways, there we go, see, like sometimes yeah, I'll stop, like not jump far enough or whatever. And luckily it just resets, and most times you die, even when you continue like right back, not too like many stages away. Like it's pretty forgiving on this. I think maybe because people had difficulty with the adventure and I forgot what the other one was called. It was the Castlevania Adventure, and then Castlevania 2, I think, or something like that. Belmont's Legacy or something like that. Okay, there we go. Yeesh. Luckily, I'll make up for... Whoa! Luckily, I'll make up for that lost life here in a second, so... it's like the game knew that I was going to fail. Because... Yeah, there's one up here. Yeah, some candles will either have meat, hearts, or 1-ups. Now, you're probably thinking, if you get hearts, that means there's sub-weapons in this game, right? Yes. They're called soul weapons. There's meat there. But, unfortunately, you don't get soul weapons till we beat a level, interestingly enough. So you have to wait till you beat the stage before you get them. And the soul weapons in this game are actually pretty almost OP, actually. And I'll go over that when we actually get them. Yeah, see, I wasn't doing much damage there. Yeah, this is a decently long stage, too. Most of my episodes are going to be me just doing each stage, and then I'll break them up in between, so just to show them off. But so far, I like this game. I'm kind of sad it never got a remake or was cut out of continuity. Then again, Konami, the people who publish this game, really don't care about this franchise other than making pachinko machines for it. Oh well, at least we got the history, and we can still play it through other means, you know, whether legit or not, depending on your mood, so... Unfortunately, I didn't actually have this game growing up. I think the only game I actually bought the original Game Boy version was the Adventure, I think, if I recall. The actual Castlevanias I owned were obviously the Nintendo versions, and then obviously later on Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of skipped it. Oh, that little candle there, the one that's a different color, that is not a candle despite the look. It is actually called dynamite. What it does is when you hit it, it breaks the floor and makes you fall down, and it takes you to a monster room which has a bunch of these ghouls in them, and they'll spawn like, God, they'll spawn like 50 of them or something like that before you leave the room, and it resets you back to the beginning of the level. And if you hit the dynamite, it does it all over again, so be careful on that. So yeah, I'm gonna avoid those. I might show them off once just to show like what the room actually looks like, but yeah, it's just there to basically waste your life and in your HP and stuff like that. So anyway, we got some knights here trying to poke us, trying to go after us. So all right, here's one of our first of many split paths, although this one actually will take a while to get through. We want to go down this path for a very specific reason. You can actually skip if you don't care about like the gameplay or anything, or not gameplay. If you just want to get through it, just go through the up path first and skip this part. Fight some fireballs. Careful. Luckily, this game doesn't have a straight drop mechanic like previous. It actually has like fluid movement in this game, if that makes sense. Where in the Nintendo games, if you jumped in an arc and you could not manipulate it. This one you can actually manipulate it. So this had the product of being, since it was the last Game Boy game, the original Game Boy game, you can manipulate movement and stuff like that. But anyway, if we hit this, we get the axe. Now you're probably thinking, can you use the axe? No! It's a special item that is required for the best ending of the game. So each stage has them, and there's five stages and then the final stage. So make sure to grab all of them before you in each stage. If you missed it, then you might need to replay the game or reset the stage. So I hate that jump because it blocks you in the ceiling. So I keep thinking I'm gonna fall, you know, even though I know I can get over it. So, but yeah, I'll probably almost never use my soul power there until I actually fight a boss. Just even though I don't know, very few of the bosses ever actually gave me super trouble, but you never know. Sometimes oh, that would have been bad if I didn't re-grab back onto it. So anyway, grab some more meat. Yeah, meat's gonna be everywhere. No wall meat in this game. It's all in candles. How's that work? I don't know. Sonia, I guess maybe Sonia makes it come out of existence. Who knows? I mean, she was the first legendary Belmont, apparently, so I think you could have easily worked Sonia into the timeline somewhere to like make her the first Belmont if that's what they were going for, you know. I don't see why not. But like I said, since Konami doesn't care about the series anymore, we can basically make up whatever canon we want. Koji Igarashi, who did the changes, eventually ended up leaving Konami and making his own game series. Oops. Well, I forgot. Habit. It was bad habit. Well, now I'm going to show you the room now, apparently. So, yeah, it was a bad habit. I hit that out of just like, I must hit every candle, must get all hearts. Yeah, if you're lucky and you hit right, you can usually kill that one that's about to fall down on top of you, but sometimes I'll miss and not get it. I'm not... Usually have to get right, but luckily I'm not taking too much damage. Yeah, see how many like zombies it spawns? So, yeah. And if you hit the candle, it resets you. So, yeah, avoid the Noid, as it were. Or avoid the candles. Yeah, that's really annoying to do that, so... Yeah, they trick you. Yeah, Ghost, you can't get me. But yeah, I actually really like this game just because, I mean, yeah, it's slow. As you can see, they had little money. But yeah, like it controls really well. I like the music for it. And, you know, not too difficult either. I mean, I like the other games too, but man, like, what was it, Castlevania Belmont 2 or whatever it was? Aw, oh, geez, ugh. I had to fight that version of Dracula so many times. It was ridiculous enough, and I reset the knights there. Luckily, there's some meat up there. Oh no! Yeah, saw that coming. No! Stop it! Stop it! You bats! I say this game is easy, and here I am getting like knocked around like on next Tuesday. So as long as I stay here, I'm fine. But yeah, luckily there's meat here, so we're good. We're good. So. All right, we're about to hit the boss here pretty soon. I think it's within. Is it this room or the next room? I don't remember every single variation of this place, so... Alright. Wait a second. Yeah, I gotta wait for them to move. Sonia's like, agitated. She's like, come on, come on! Gotta beat Dracula in 200 seconds, or whatever. Yeah, the first one... I mean, yeah, I get why they probably called this out, because I think originally in the timeline before they added the PS2 versions of the games, Innocence and stuff like that. I forgot where they actually made Lamont, or I haven't played that game in so long. I forgot who they called the first Belmont in that one. Was it Lamont? I think it was. And then they made him the first guy to, and he was actually friends with Dracula before Dracula became Dracula. But I don't know. I think he could have still worked Sonya in here somewhere. I'd like to see a remake of this game, to tell you the truth. Maybe like a fan remake, just to, you know, see someone like their take on Legends or whatever. And hey, you could. I mean, it's called a Legend, so you could say it. Maybe it was true. Maybe it wasn't real. Who knows? I mean, obviously she plays like every other character. Interestingly enough, Bloodstained, Igarashi's new series, is in the same vein as the old Castlevania. And there's actually a female whip user in there. The main character of his Bloodstained series, interestingly enough, his more people like the side game that they made for Bloodstained. I think it was called Bloodstained anyway. Than the actual main game itself, because the mini game was basically a recreation of basically Castlevania. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say recreation per se. It's basically, it uses similar mechanics from Castlevania 3 for that game, where you play as like 4 party members, each with their own abilities, stuff like that. And a lot of people really like that game. But yeah, I don't hear people talking about the actual full release of the main game that they made of it. Overall, I haven't actually played both. I've only seen videos on it, so couldn't tell you much about it. So, oh, here we are. We're at the boss now. This guy actually isn't very hard, but I'll use my soul power anyway, and I'll tell you how to use soul power. Yep, we got Batman here. I mean, it looks like Batman. He's even got the kind of the same face, but I don't know what his actual name is. Oh, yeah, I meant to only attack him twice. Okay, he's going to fly over here, flop. Yeah, what you want to do is usually want to give, you want to do like a couple attacks. Okay, well, I probably could have gotten a third one. And when he flaps, you want to like kind of leave a bit of room. Because, yeah, he's going to, well, I'm getting hit every single time. Usually I can avoid his jumps like that, but, okay, well, I'm going to use soul power now. He is easy, folks. I'm just being bad about this. Actually, let me just activate soul power. Just to, yeah, see, she raises her chest and goes, by the power of Grayskull! And she becomes invincible. And yeah, do you see how fast I was going? But yeah, so, and we get the soul orb there. But what item will we get? What does the next level of Castlevania have for us? Will we be going through Fire and Flame? Find out next time in the next episode of Castlevania Legends. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.